No dog sold or raised for illegal purposes. This is a historical and entertainment-based channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah. Episode 71, yeah. Here we go. Yo. Should champion Mugsy be considered unsung? Should champion Dozier be added to the archive? What do we know about Big Apple's Grand Champion Demon?
Let us analyze the evidence on this episode of Bulldog Court.
Bulldog community, please rise. This is your host, Gr.Ch, because we got to get a hold of the game.
Court is now in session.
Oh yeah. This is your boy, Gr.Ch, because we got to get a hold of the game. I'm so happy that you could join me tonight. You could have been anywhere else in the Bulldog streets, but you decided to come kick it with your boy. And I'm so happy that you did. You underdig. I'd like to thank everybody for checking out last week's Bulldog Court episode 70, where we had a really good time. A great show was had. If you missed out on it, check out the replay on that. We covered a few interesting cases from the proceedings that I had that evening. And then we slid right over into the Bulldog Court live after show, where we went into the cases and reevaluated some things, looked at some different angles that we could look at these different cases, especially pertaining to where we see certain dogs in history. Of course, I was accompanied by the Cap brothers, King T, aka Short Bus Cap, Pressure Kenner Combine, aka Pressure Cap, and of course, the honorable one, J-Bo, aka Papa Cap. And we had a real good time, man. We went into some different things, man, chopped it up real good. And salute to another great episode of Hump Day Cap with my Cap brothers on Wednesday. If you're not subscribed, you need to get subscribed to King T's channel ASAP. You're underdig. And check out the Hump Day Cap. You know what I'm saying? You need that cap in you know, that capalocious, capalicious. You know what I'm saying? All the capaholics out there. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself on the midweek side of the game with my Cap brothers, King T, aka Short Bus Cap, Pressure Kenner Combine, aka Pressure Cap, and of course, the honorable one, J-Bo. But all the shout outs, all the people doing this show, doing their thing, very interesting shows. I caught Big Hill, you know, at the cookout. We got No Decaf. We got Men That Work. You know, we got the twins. Salute to Going Hard. On Tuesdays and Fridays, you know, Fat Bill. And a host of others, Buck City as well. And a host of others. There are more channels out there than I can name, you know, in this section of the show where I do a review of different things. But you have to do your own due diligence. Check out some of these shows, man. Just because I don't mention that don't mean they're not good shows. And I am subscribed to even more shows just to show my support for those who get out in the dog talk streets doing they 1-2. I catch some shorts every now and again from different people that I'm subscribed to, but these just so happen to be the ones who I come across, and they come across my, you know, the algorithm shows them to me a little bit more than some others for whatever the reason being. But salute to all those doing their 1-2 in the dog talk streets. I gotta say this because I say it every time. I am not the judge nor jury, for it is up to you, the Bulldog community, to decide which way the tide may roll. I'm not gonna prolong the time. We're gonna get right into it. For my first case is Champion Mugsy Unsung. Let us look into this. When I'm talking about Champion Mugsy, I am talking about none other than Lopez's champion Mugsy. We will do a small dive into his pedigree. Some of you may have heard of Mugsy, some of you may have not. And this is why I have put him up before the Bulldog community for consideration into the Unsung Champion category that will go down into the archives. Let us look into this. Champion Mugsy is off of Gr.Ch's Crazy Boy POR, who was off of PDK's Rufus, one-time winner, and Gr.Ch's Crazy Girl. Rufus is out of Gr.Ch Striker in Gr.Ch China. It's roughly a heavy bred Ed Crenshaw dog with a little bit of Eli and some other stuff in there. And his dam was Gr.Ch's Crazy Girl, who was out of PDK's Champion Invader, who was out of Gr.Ch Champion RJ in Gr.Ch China. That is some Sorrel blood. Bred to Dibble's Sissy, which is some more Ed Crenshaw. Hatcher Booger, Hatcher Murchie, just some more Ed Crenshaw. So Ed Crenshaw Sorrels with a little bit of Eli. It's the top side. His dam, Mugsy's dam, is Lopez's Miss Ellie, Register of Merit, who is out of Outlaws Philo, and Lopez's Miss Kitty. Philo is out of Hunter's Andy Rival and Rita's Mini. This is roughly, in a nutshell, a blend of Ed Crenshaw and Heinzel's Gringo. That's what makes up that, along with a little bit of Heinzel, of course, and some Kobe and Niblet, you know, a little bit of Tootles Jeff mixed in. Some very old lines in this animal. And it also has, you know, the Tootles Jeff, of course, back in there. So this is a champion who I thought should be under at least consideration and brought before the Bulldog community to decide on whether or not this animal is deserving to go into the archives as one of the unsung champions. Like I said, he has a very old school breeding. You know, somebody was preserving the bloodlines to get him up to this point, and more of a recent times, you know, still back in the days, but more of a recent time than you would ever see a line of dogs like that in time, you know, in like the late 90s or whatever, or early 2000s. Like a lot of those dogs, the Heinzels and those dogs were, you know, a lot of people say they were long gone, you know. Maybe at the end of the 90s or the mid 90s, you still could find some Heinzel or some Ed Crenshaw heavy up close, but not so much in latter years. So this is an animal that I think should be considered. You know, have you heard any cap on the dog? You know, is there any cap on the wrap? If not, you know, and then he has a sister, you know what I'm saying? I think they inbred off of him. I think one of his sisters, Misha, was bred to another Lopez champion called El Tigre, bred pretty much in the old school same way. So to produce some nice animals as well. So well, we're gonna leave this here. I look forward to seeing your comments. I look forward to seeing your commentary. So for the case of, is Champion Mugsy unsung? This case is now dismissed. We'll get back to the show after these important messages.
Add these reading materials to your historical literature collection of the American Pit Bull Terrier. The Big Red Handbook, Family Bred and Raised, Dogs, Dogmen, and Bloodlines, and the Schoolboy Keep. Contact Richard Schoolboy Garcia on Messenger and purchase your part of history today.
Hammerhead on the beat, bitch.
Oh yeah. And now it's time for my second case. Should Champion Dozier be added to the archives? viewers, let us look into this. What I mean by this is, should Camp 8's champion Dozier be added into the archives of the unsung champions and grand champions? Now, I want people to think about this. First of all, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. Champion Dozier had a impressive resume before he went into BDPs, or Bring the Pains, Champion Silver Bullet. He was said to have lost that show, that outing, in 48 minutes. But when we're talking about unsung champions, okay, some of them may have a game loss or loss, but that in no way diminishes what the animal had done to get to that point, if you understand what I'm saying. Those that he had to overcome in order to even get to that point is worthy of at least a mention or a hearing from Bulldog Court, from the Sporting Dog Archives, to at least present to the Bulldog community for consideration. And you can do your own due diligence to see and look into those animals, that his resume. You can look at his resume and check his resume out. He from a region of the country where this competition is pretty stiff all the time. Not sometimes, all the time back then. And if you had one, people came looking for you, in high fashion, top quality animals, back in that time were really doing their thing. So that's no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. But I want to go into, just to get you look at how Champion Dozier, Camp 8's Champion Dozier, is bred. Now, if you look at or you listen to how he is bred, you will hear some very familiar names in the Bulldog world. If you watch or been an avid listener to Bulldogging with Bo, with J-Bo and Nonstop, these names should not surprise you, but just to show you just how this was really coming together. His sire was TNT's champion Big D, registered merit, who was off of champion El Diablo Negro, registered merit, who was bred to champion Dead Serious Kennels Banji, 3-time winner, 2-time loser game. Okay, so I don't think those dogs he in introduction. El Negro off of champion Oscar and Mass Black China. Okay, Banji off of grand champion Banjo, bred to Hammond's China Babe. Just for, you to understand. For those that in the future will listen to this, maybe some greenhorns will hear this in the future. His dam was, I guess it got a bunch of question marks by the name, but Sunshine. And Sunshine was off of BCC's or Boot Camp Click's Cottonmouth registered merit. Cottonmouth was out of Middleton's Mangler and Tally's Little Rooster, 2-time winner. Sunshine's dam was TNT's Tina, who was sired by Savil's David Duke, and the dam Young Sandy. And the TNT Tina was some Stompanato, La Passe Buster, and Jeep Blood. So this just goes to show you how this dog was coming with it. You do your own due diligence. I just thought this was one that should be brought before the community, regardless of a tremendous record. Did this 1-2 against some of the best of that time period. Lost to one of the best. Some people out here coming to my comment section and say that Silver Bullet was an ace. I don't know how true that was, but if you take the time to drop a line, I have to, consider that. You took time out of your day to let me know of the caliber of an animal that the Silver Bullet dog was, and for him to go into that, that tells me a great bit. But never mind what I think. What do you think? Do you think that Camp 8's champion Dozier should go into the archives of the unsung champions and grand champions? I'm just going to leave this right here for you. That Banjo, El Diablo Negro with the Jeep and all that stuff was doing this thing at one time. It's a heck of a cross with the Cottonmouth. I like it. But what do you think? I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your commentary. And for the case of, should champion Dozier be considered for the archives of the Unsung. This case is now dismissed. Now, this is the segment of the show we call Bench Warrant. For the bench warrant, this is for all, I would call them, they are all-time cappers. You know what I'm saying? They cap bigger than everybody else, man. You know, everybody got a cap on in the Bulldog world in my eyes, but some people cap just far bigger than others. And on top of that, it's insult to injury when some people play the Bulldog world like they dumb or stupid, or can't become knowledgeable and get informed by simply making a few phone calls. Like, people think that you can't actually call around to find out certain things. If you have any larger than life claims about certain stuff, or bogus claims, you know, your dog jumped through 5 buildings and, you know what I'm saying, and they took down Andre the Giant, you know what I'm saying, and all this other stuff. You can leap buildings at a single bound, and you say you did it in New York City and you don't have no witnesses that saw that, and you think nobody ain't gonna know if it's bogus or not. Come on, man. Come on now, dog.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog.
Come on. Who you fooling?
Come on, man.
Bruh. Who you fooling, bruh? Mad Dollar, bruh. Who you fooling, bruh? People gonna find out about you, man. So, you know, I'm just gonna have to call you on in, man. Major cappers, y'all come on in, come in. Come on in for this bench warrant, man. I got a few questions. Let me put that light in your face. Ask you a few questions as to why you feel the need to cap in front of the community like hell, and knowing that we gonna find out that all that stuff you said,
come on, man,
was cap. But I guess ain't nothing gonna stop the cap, man. You know, merch coming soon, and that does it for this segment called Bench Warrant. Yeah, and now it's time for my third and final case. What do we know about Big Apple's grand champion, Demon? Oh man, let us look into this. Now, when we think about Big Apple Kennels, those of us who've been in the game or even been really paying close attention in podcasts, you know, I don't know if they get mentioned a whole lot, but you know, you've done your research, you've done your homework on different kennels of the past, different dog men, etc., etc. You looked at the old SDJs, the old American Game Dog Time magazines, Salute Fat Bill. You know, you've looked at those magazines, so you might have came across the name Big Apple Kennels. And for the most part, Big Apple Kennels was kind of known for just one dog, and that was a son of Mayday, and he was a son and he was a cousin of Mayday also, where they took Mayday and bred back to his auntie Holly to get Big Apple Kennels grand champion hunch. That is what they are known for. I mean, I remember them advertising him heavily at one time back in the days. But it seems as though they had another grand champion by the name of Big Apple Kennels Grand Champion Demon. Now, this dog existed, looked like, from the birthday up here, 23 years ago. So it's a long time ago, And this dog was off of Scooter's Champion Emmett, which is, well-known Boys dog in Florida. A lot of people know about Emmett and all the dogs he produced. Bred to Big Apples, Louisiana. Now, Louisiana was off of Big Apple's Grand Champion Hunch, bred to Big Apple's Goldie, which was off of Tance AAA, and A. Lopez's Jinx, who was off of Tance Red Devil and Tance Princess P. Like I just told you, Hunch out of Mayday bred to his auntie Hollingsworth Polly. And then you have Emmett being a heavy boat action, Von Zachariah, had brother sister breeding out of Von Zachariah. So that's a heavy boat action Boys dog with some Eli, of course, all the junior type stuff in there. Okay. So this produced Grand Champion Demon. But I'm coming to the Bulldog community because a Grand Champion bred in this way. Dudes from Florida and Michigan, Detroit especially, in the Detroit area, should have been lining up. I'm talking about it should have been a trail of cars going toward New York. The breed to this animal, it should have been the 95 should be burnt up back then. From dudes coming up the 95 corridor from Florida in South Florida on their way up top to New York to breed to a Grand Champion Hunch. All for Emmett, and much as they love Emmett, Cracker Kennels, Bull Scar, House of Pain, Mr. Scope, hell, Ronald Boys himself. I mean, but I just never heard of this animal. Maybe this one that slipped through the cracks. Maybe this just one I missed, over the past. You can't get all of them. You know what I mean? You can remember them all. But I just really, at that time, man, come on, man. But what do you guys think, man? Never mind what I think or what I forgot or just didn't see of the past. What do we know about Grand Champion Demon? I look forward to your comments. I look forward to your commentary. And this case is now dismissed. Oh yeah, and now it's time for my closing monologue. Like I say every time, make your next move your best move, but move strategic, like a chess move. Say man, Thursday nights, they be cold out there in the Bulldog streets, don't they? Man, come on, by Bulldog with both, man. You two do right, man. I don't know what I'm gonna do out here on Thursday, man. I'm trying to hold the fort down or something till they get everything straight. Ain't nothing gonna stop the cap, by the way. All y'all out there on the cap train. But this is your boy, Get a Hold of James. Cause we got to get a hold of the game. I'm out.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and tell a dogman or woman about the Sporting Dog Archive.